Welcome to Avery and China. Today I'm pleased to be with Courtney Skinner. Courtney, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So yesterday we've been watching your video about Deb Kakash. It was awesome because she really was involved in all the Stephen Avery case, and she really left the case. She had a responsibility with the bones, but she really had issues with the cops and law enforcement, and she quit. But that's not all, because you really told us a lot of interesting things that a lot of people doesn't know. So um, what can you tell us?
Well, it's a little bit interesting that Deb Kakash, who is in a place of such respect and a high position, is afraid to come forward, and that's been a huge obstacle in this case, I believe. I feel like, everybody wants to know where the locals are, why aren't people from the area speaking up? And then when they do, they're kind of getting dogged by other people and they're silenced right away. But it's interesting that, obviously someone like her, we all know she made it the statement, didn't she, in Making a Murder, that she's afraid to come forward. And I guess I'd say to her exactly what I'd say to Barb or anybody else. Now's the time. It's been long enough. So
You made me remember Kathleen Sellner tweet that said that obstacles are the path. Really, on the way of the justice and in the way of truth, we are having a lot of obstacles. Stephen Avery, his way is not easy, is very, very hard. So that's why this video is about the local motion. What can you say about the local motion?
a couple years ago, when we were trying to get locals united to feel comfortable to come forward, and I was working with a different researcher, and I came up with the name Local Motion. And the motion, the local, it's supposed to sound like a train because of these Silly Tracks Tavern pictures that fit into it all. And at the time, the person that was helping us claimed that she was helping us unite locals and going to support us, but didn't. So haven't really used it. And I feel like I say every flipping video that I don't want to, I didn't intend to have my face out here and be doing this kind of stuff. But it took me, I've been doing this in the research community since the end of 2018. So I haven't been in here as long as everybody else, but I think I've been through my fair share of shit from people trying to get information out. And so I know you've experienced that too.
By the way, you are not only with the Stephen Avery case, but for example, with the Ricky Hochstetler, there are several people involved on both cases, no?
Well, they're all tied together. My brother's case is tied to this case because, well, obviously it's Mike Glazer, Ken Kratz, Pagel, Calumet County. Weir was working there, so. And of course, it's tied to Manitowoc and all the history, and of course, the Ricky Hochstetler case, and it's going to lead to other cases because they didn't just corrupt one case; they are corrupt. So it's going to, we look into some of the other cases in the area, and I know people out there have made lists of all the different missing women in our area. And we do, some of the women we found, and it's pretty horrific. So, and one thing that I haven't really said yet, and it's obviously an opinion of my own. I feel like right now, like I want to say the world is watching. No, the fucking world isn't watching what's going on in Manitowoc. A lot of people are. And Manitowoc County knows a lot of people are. They're on their very best behavior. And that's kind of, well, that is what we feel like we're able to come forward because there are so many eyes on this, you know? And it's all coming together. I mean, I'm actually really, really overwhelmed today with some stuff coming forward because it's big, it's craziness.
Yeah, I really feel you the fact that it's really important to find people ready to come forward because for example, in the case of Stephen Avery, this new witness could change it all because a lot of people saw a lot of things and nobody is really talking because of the fear, because a lot of things. So mm, this is really needed now, like a revolution, no? Of local motion.
Well, we'll see. That would be nice. It's been really difficult I always call it the alleged truther community because everybody acts like they're out here to get the truth for Stephen and Brendan, but everybody's so divided and, working against each other that it's been really, really hard. And I'm here to tell you that the people that are coming forward and talking to me, it is not going to be that hard for them in this community because they don't need to go through all that anymore because we're going to support them and get their words out.
For example, in Manitowoc, there is a man, we don't have to say his name, I guess, but this man raped a lot of women, and this is on Manitowoc, and he wasn't reported. He's not paying for his rapings, and this is something really serious because uh, a rape can change.
His name is Chuck Avery, and it is proven. It isn't a rumor. It isn't any of that. And no, maybe somebody when they were 11 fucking years old didn't press charges, and there's no proof of it. But the whole reason when that did come out, and the whole interaction on Twitter when Chuck's daughter was going to sue me for slander, and what I know about a little bit about cases is that a civil case would have brought out a lot of truth about Chuck. So I was saying, let's do it. Fucking sue me, right? Because I already know. I know 2 women that have been assaulted by him that are too ashamed, still embarrassed to come forward. So if there are 2 that Courtney Skinner knows, I'm pretty sure there's more. And I know Chuck knows there's more. So I am going to say his name. He needs to own up to it. Pedophiles don't stop unless somebody stops them. And he's never been stopped. And he's got grandkids. I won't go into it anymore, but I'll be fucked if I'm not going to say his name. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm not keeping Chucky's secrets. And I give the women that are coming forward, and even the ones that are still, they're not going to come forward because, what's the point, right? It's the one of the things that happened when Kim Ducat did come forward, it was for Kim Ducat. You know what I mean? That was her process in life. That was her no longer keeping the secret for him. And it was a big moment for her. When we put that information out, of course, we had talked about it for a good long time, like we do everything, and didn't know the right time. Then, of course, Kim didn't want to come out and say that. Who would, right? And it's ironic because we did a live on Jack's West page, and at that time, it was cool. I talked to her on the phone, and we talked about a bunch of things, and that came up, and she showed up the next day. And what's so funny about it is, a little girl that carries around that trauma all of her life without being able to talk about it or tell anyone or confront him. And in the video, Kim Ducat and I, we laugh because we call it the "we're both gonna shit a watermelon" video, because we both are sitting there and we look so tense because we both know what's gonna come out that day in the interview, and we don't know how it's gonna come out. And I got Kim's back, and she knows it's gonna come up, and so we both look like, we're just sitting there waiting for this moment. But the irony, like I was saying, the irony of it all is I believe like 30,000 people saw that. So, it wasn't at all what anybody could have imagined or what we expected or planned, but kind of cool to, kind of put it out there. So, and if Chuck wants to have a conversation, I don't know. He's gonna have to he's gonna have to email me. I don't know. You know?
I can't imagine how can be to be raped by a man, and year by year this man is completely like innocent and nobody says nothing, and the cops don't go for him, and even years later the brother of this man, Steven, is framed, and it's so very crazy. It makes me think where it comes the protection that Chuck Avery has. It's just he protects himself, or he has a bigger protection behind.
Of course he does. Of course he does. I mean, it's not even that hard to see. People just need to look, and it's not even that hard. It wouldn't be that hard for him to hide that even from his own family. I mean, do you think he's going to walk around going, "Oh, I fucking pulled that one over"? It's silence. They are silent. Just like Chuck being silent about the track's pictures. He knows every fucking person in those pictures. He's never come forward. He ought to be arrested for never coming forward. But, it's it's the favors.
At the same time, if we think what Chuck Avery did for Steven since 2005, and Chuck Avery did nothing for his own brother.
Well, I didn't think it's pretty odd that he hasn't solved it. Come on. I mean, there's so many red flags, people. It's ridiculous. There is no way a family member of Steven's wouldn't have solved this by now. Christ, if Dolores had the better health, she might have, But I think she overlooked things too, But I just can't imagine not figuring it out by now, or it being the biggest mission. I mean, Christ, we've dedicated our lives to figure it out. Why wouldn't they for their own loved one? Right?
Yeah.
And yesterday when I did my video, I talked a lot about Barb coming forward, or, feeling safe enough to come forward. And, there is such a strange little clique of researchers out there that the deception is unbelievable. And I'm very, very pissed off at a lot of them for making it so hard. And, like, I think you were on that video, and I'm all about somebody speaking up for Barb, but I also feel like if you're going to stand and speak up for Barb, then start talking, right? If you are so certain that woman is innocent, then start telling us and showing us, or get her to talk to us. I mean, like I said, I don't think Barb has a lot of people she can come forward to. I don't know. And right now, I guess Barb's had enough chance to come forward. I'd like it
Um,
to not be so difficult for other people, real humans in this area, to come forward without the, certain researchers playing games. And I mean, it's
Courtney, what do you think the people need to come forward? What they need before to come forward?
well, I think I'm right now. I know the people that have come forward to me, and I know that they trust me. Okay, they know that I'm not going to divulge any information on them. It's never coming out if they don't want it to. Of course, I'm trying to make, I'm trying to earn their trust. I believe I have, but I can't give them that kind of protection for them to, want to put their name out because, you know, we need more people. And it's been pretty cool though. The people that are coming forward are really amazing, authentic people. And it's going to take that kind of person, That's exactly why we're here right now,
Yeah,
because that's the only way this stuff is going to come out. But I feel like if we can, I mean, it's been hard for me, and I understand why people have been down on me with my research and whether I put it out and all this and that, but I never expected to come out into the community that I was working with and have them turn so hard on me. So now I'm pretty protective. I dragged Kim Ducat into some situations, and not like I dragged her. The woman is, trust me, you don't drag her to do anything, but she trusted me and the people that I thought I should work with, and it was so disappointing. And of course, you know how I feel when Kim did come out with that, and every one of those Averys disowned her, including Dolores. But that's what we were told from Kala and Barb, I guess. I don't know where it came from, one of those two. But I guarantee you that nobody went up to Dolores and said, "Hey, Ma, Kim Ducat's out there talking about Chucky being a rapist." I'm sure that nobody brought that to Dolores. So, I don't want
everybody that watched Making a Murderer could see that Kim Ducat is an awesome woman, a nice cousin, a lovely cousin that really loves and supports Stephen Avery. By the way, they can't think the same for Earl or for Barb or for some others because, your actions can describe you. Mm,
maybe a little, but look at how they portrayed Chuck in Making a Murderer. I mean, they didn't portray Chuck. Chuck portrayed Chuck. This shy man that would help Kathleen up the berm. When I watched that, I was like, watch your back, Kathleen.
yeah.
That part where he's so, and really Chuck has to be tied into it. I don't even talk to anybody. There isn't anybody anymore that doesn't believe Chuck isn't part of it. So if somebody's on that little mission, good luck to you, because I wanted to say I really much I appreciate your support, and so do I know Anna does, of course, and Kim, and the others. It is making a difference. It is, because like I said, the right person's going to come. I actually had this idea the other day that maybe you could help me get going. Excuse me.
No problem.
I want it to be called 36 Million Reasons. And I don't want to do it, but I want someone else to do it. And I want to rally every person that's seen Making a Murderer, or anybody that wants to donate $1. $1 until we get $36 million. And then let's pay one of these fucking cops to come forward. Let's do it.
And
Why?
I will send you $100 right now.
But seriously, right? If they're gonna hold out because their lives are so precious and valuable at their 70 or 80 years old, gonna take that to your grave, you big smart man. I say let's just pay the fuckers. Let's pay them more than than Pagel or Kenny Kratz. Let's see how it works, right?
Yeah.
Got to be 36 million people out there that believe Brendan Dassey is innocent and that the money is going to go towards getting him out.
If we create this crowdfunding, we will reach $100,000.
As
Or
long as
maybe,
every goddamn
no, 100 million. Sorry.
we don't even need that many. We don't. We
No,
don't
for
even need
Steven,
36
not
million.
for us, because it's just $1 for each person. And of course,
That's all they care about. They can get right out of the country on that kind of money. Maybe then they'll come forward. Maybe then they'll find some morals, right?
and at the same time, I remember that Kathleen Sellner said that she will pay for anyone that said something that could help Steven. It was, an advertising, but, this money, for example, I would send it to Thomas Sowinski or Anna or someone like that because they are really.
But you know what? The thing of it is the people that will come forward are very special people. They're not looking for the fucking money, They're looking for justice. So it's only going to work on certain people, and it's almost to throw it right back at them, right? You're so worried about the money, so worried about how the state looks. Would you be so worried about how the state looks for $36 million? Just to, we could try it. Just to mock them on what a joke it all is, We're never going to get this through the courts, If Zellner can, good for her, but it's still the truth that needs to come out. There's a lot of people in high positions that need to be exposed.
Of course, and it's been like 3 years waiting for the third season. It's been like 3 years waiting for Zellner to do something, and Zellner is still doing nothing, because maybe she's working on something secret, or she sent a new test, or she has, I don't know what she really has, but I really think that, for example, what you are doing, it's something better. Why? Because you really are going to the locals and you are asking them, and you really find good people, truthful people. That's the first thing. Um, why Selner is delaying so much, in your opinion?
Why is she what? Delaying so much? Well, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel about her. I'd love to trust her, but I guess I just don't trust any of them. And I say this to, I'm really wishing that I could get more information from Laurencia Bembenik's lawyer, Mary Warrer, because I have limited information. What was put out in the media, but I don't feel like anybody playing in the arena is playing fair. And if you're a lawyer and you're in the bar and you're in this judicial system and it's corrupt, I mean, how do you make it in a corrupt system without being corrupt? How? I just can't believe that Kathleen Zellner is one of the only, and I feel like it would have been much, much cheaper to bring her in. And my thoughts are that, if you're getting a divorce, you get a divorce lawyer. If you're, if it's a criminal or civil or blah, blah, blah. But I think the state, when you're getting sued by, when you need to cover for the state, you're going to bring in the right kind of lawyer.
Okay, Courtney, imagine that someone is hitting you, and this individual is maybe going to come forward, but it's not just a witness, okay? Imagine that it is a member of the family. I don't know if Avery family or Holbach family or or a cop or law enforcement. What will be your message to this individual?
Someone who comes forward.
But not a witness, a member of the plot.
Oh, see, that's where I need everybody because, yeah, we gotta. I used to say, like, I used to have this dream that I could talk to Barb and, whether it was about Scott or whatever. And I actually had this dream about Mike Glazer too, because there was a time where I kind of thought he was going to help me and talk to me. But my idea back then, years ago, was I was just going to go talk to Mike Glazer, and I was going to say, let's go. I was going to take him right to Zellner, right to Zellner. Now I don't know. I'd take him somewhere. I'd keep him safe. And then I'd get a hold and get in contact with the people that I'm working with and the people that are supporting us out here. And
But picture that, for example, a witness, the consequences of saying the truth uh, are not
chill.
bigger than, for example, someone that talked on the trial or speak up on the case or report. It's different. Or for you, it's the same to come forward inside or outside the case.
It's all connected. I mean, yes, of course, our focus is the Avery case, but you know, there's people all around here framed for things they didn't do. And now there's people coming forward. I mean, it's craziness. Now people are coming forward and talking about how they were informants and forced to do things that put people behind bars. So, this is going to be a big giant ball. So any help that we can get, and if I keep getting so much resistance from some of the other researchers that are kind of, I don't know what they're doing, we'll just go silent again. We don't really, we've gotten this far without the support of some major researchers in this case. Some of them aren't even researchers, they're just talking, and we've gotten a lot done without anybody's help, without anybody's input, and we're going to keep going. If we feel that we have to keep it underground, we will, you know. And everybody we talk to, everybody involved, we're all protected, and doing everything we can, watching each other's backs, checking in all the time, you know.
By the way, what do you think about Kathleen Sellner stopping witness, for example, Kim Ducat, to make an affidavit?
I don't believe she's ever contacted Kim. And even when Kim tried to contact her, she didn't get back a hold of Kim. So I think it's because, Kim says there was a time when Carla contacted her years ago and said that Zellner wanted Kim under a gag order or something, or recommended that she not talk to anyone. And I think Kim's exact words were, if Zellner wants me on a gag order, Zellner's going to need to talk to me. Obviously we're adults. I don't know. If I don't know. What was your question again?
It was just,
About Zellner and a gag order on Kim? What was that?
not, not only, for example, Kevin Ramlow was about like 1 year trying to get Sellner to talk and to make an affidavit. So maybe it wasn't only him. Maybe there are a lot of people trying to talk to Sellner, or a lot of people trying to people that knows things,
Well,
but these
everybody's
things.
doing that's the big click out there too. Everybody wants recognition from Zellner. Everybody thinks they're going to be in Man 3. I think that's so weird. We ain't got time for a Man 3. We need 2 men out and be done with it. This isn't a goddamn Lifetime movie on and on. I don't know. I don't have a lot of trust about her. And that's my own experience of trying to contact her many, many times, going to her office. And, I'm not trying to be anyone special, but I'm still a fucking human being. I'm still calling the Avery line. I'm dropping off my paperwork. I'm trying, and even if she would have said, quit fucking bothering me, that would have been all right. And I don't care. I don't need her recognition. I don't want anything. I don't really trust lawyers, and I don't trust this system. And she works quite well in it. So, and I've been saying a long time, I get it. And somebody want to prove it to me, do it. I'm great with that. I'm not set. Everybody that knows me knows I want to believe this woman, but she's exonerated 18 men now, and I want to know how many judges, lawyers, cops had to be accountable. Because it looks like the taxpayers paid for a bunch of million fucking dollars to get wrongfully, intentionally convicted people out of jail. So great, but it doesn't help us out here. It's not going to, in the end, it's not going to help anyone. It'll get Steven out, but I don't know. I think he wants the truth. Because it was Manitowoc County Met in the state of Wisconsin that did it. Why would he? I mean, yes, the man needs to be out. Whatever happens, he needs to get out. But personally, we all need the truth as well.
Yeah, me too. I'm starting to lose the faith in Kathleen Zellner. Why? Because she always says she's the queen of the world of lawyers. She's the number one, and I really believed for a long time that she was the best. But what she's doing, and by the way, she's getting new cases with new people. She is not only working on the Stephen Avery case. The more time is passing, she gets new people, new convictions, convicted. So it's really sad. The making a murderer, it's really sad too, because the third season.
And if she's got it. And I get it. There needs to be, it's got to go through the courts or whatever. But it's kind of sounds like in 2003, the minute they found out that fucking DNA wasn't his, he was fucking out, right? He was out. So if the lady doesn't have anything, quit gagging everybody so they can talk. I don't know. I personally believe that we researchers have uncovered more, and I don't care what any of y'all say. This community of researchers has found out more than that lady knows. There is no freaking way. And yet people send her all the shit, but it's the people that did the shit that know the shit. You can send her, hey, this record, this file, but you did all the research on it, so you know exactly why it fell into that way, And,
Yeah, for example, I remember she exonerated a man from New York, so young. Now I can't remember, but they made a documentary called Dream. Yeah, you know this case, no?
Yeah, I know all that, and that's all tied into to mainstream entertainment, right? However,
No, but I mean, she won this case, was very hard, but this case didn't have millions of people researching and doing things. Now it's easier, because you have a lot of
you
people.
think she's gonna take the bit of information that comes from a researcher and say, okay, now we've blown it out of the water? Sorry, I don't think so. She might use it and take credit for it, but maybe not. And that's really all it takes with some of these researchers, is to get a little nudge from the KZ, and they're like, okay, And they had to bring a female lawyer in because he is being accused of raping, torturing, and killing a woman, and it looks really, really good, doesn't it? I mean, if she believes him, everybody should. I don't know. I don't know why she needs to be so damn silent. Why doesn't she do a freaking live stream? I just resent so much that they think they're so much more important. We're simple people. We don't have any money. We're dedicating our lives to it. So don't take another case. Balls to the wall, KZ. Let's do this. And she knows too.
Yeah, I hope she has a royal flush or a full, or to win the game, because if she has nothing, Steven will continue in prison. I don't know how much time.
Well, I would think that he's probably a little frustrated too, because if we're all frustrated, I'm sure he's losing his shit. He's also in a new relationship, which is absolutely fabulous, isn't it? And really the best thing for him to have some love, endorphin, oxytocin, right? That gives you more hope than anything. So, and I hear that his his old fiance came out with a letter from Steven, and I even heard it said we all need to get along, which I think is interesting. But I find it hard to believe that Sandra Greenman sat and talked to Steven about the division. And here's a funny story about that, and just about how dirty and deceptive these other people in this community can be. I probably shouldn't say this, but it's kind of a funny story. It was a couple years ago. Well, it was definitely before we met Beauty and String, but Kim, I always say Kim Ducat because I have another friend named Kim, so it's habit for me.
Yeah.
So Kim did have some type of, maybe they have each other's number, communication with Sandra Greenman, right? So she sent her a message one day because we're looking into all this Chuck stuff and we're, finding stuff and look and whatever. And that is the main reason that we went and talked to String and Beauty, was because Kim wanted to say, did you ever look into Chuck? Because I told you about Chuck, so can we talk more about Chuck? So she had gotten a hold of Sandra Greenman and sent her a text. I think it was through text or messenger, I don't fucking know. But it was a message to her that she wanted to know if Zellner had ever looked at Chuck. And the message that came back was from Sandra Greenman, and she said, right now, KZ is looking at Jody.
Casey is looking at Joy?
Jody. She told Kim that Kathleen Zellner, it wasn't too long ago, whatever, my years are all screwed up, but she told her that, I don't know if it was just to make Kim believe, like, fuck off, put her on the wrong path, but how weird. And come on. Jody, literally, after she got that message, I said, well, we need to find Jody. But we looked her up. She was in jail in Green Bay. Because don't think Jody did it either. I mean, she's really smart. She only got pulled over for 9 drunk drivings, but she might have pulled it over off this real bright state. I want to say too, another really big red flag, and I talk about this quite a bit, is that if anybody recalls in the Ricky Hochstetler case, even to this day, they've never called in the state troopers. Can't imagine why. But in the Stephen Avery case, the day that we all saw the footage on Making a Murderer, someone gave me the number of how many cars, police, different law enforcement agencies were there that day. I mean, do people think that's normal? You think that in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, I mean, if Jeffrey fucking Epstein was found they wouldn't send that many cars somewhere. So what do people really think went on?
Yeah, it
Real,
is the first episode of Making a Murder is a lot of cars coming to the Avery Savage Yard and they
what?
don't have a corpse. They don't
What?
have nothing.
Why did they need to be there? Why did all those state troopers, they didn't call one in for the Ricky case, actually told Deb Hochstetler, we don't call them in for vehicular, when that is the biggest lie. That's exactly what the state troopers do. Maybe they meant DOJ. It doesn't matter. They knew goddamn well to call in the state troopers for a hit and run on a road. Hello. And then, like I tried to point out, the person that I'm saying is involved in killing Ricky Hochstetler, Luke Kramer, he signed in on that at that salvage yard 7 times that I found. I believe he's the one who, I believe, I could be wrong. I don't have much hope in finding this out, but his name comes up on the day they found the license plates. And it says flagged. I don't know if it means he's the one who flagged the license plates. But good thing he wasn't busy that day. Good thing that they had like 30 some state troopers, was it? I mean, I know it's a movie and I know that people, try to make all this seem like, oh, it's a little weird, but it's really freaking weird. It is Manitowoc, Wisconsin that all those cars showed up for. For what? And why would any single Manitowoc, any city, I don't care if they were deposed or not one of them needed to be there. If not one of those fucking Manitowoc cops stepped onto that property, we sure wouldn't be here, huh? But it still would have been framed. Don't get me wrong. They were just too dumb because they are that dumb. But one thing too that I'm hoping, with all hope that is happening, is that it doesn't really pay off right now to be so corrupt in Manitowoc. Does it? Because there's a lot of people watching them and they know that. So maybe they'll just, it was the generation of Tom Kusert, Kenny Peterson, all those guys. And, Rob Herman's 50. He's not much, he's my age, really. So, it's not, I don't know. I mean, I do believe, of course, it's kind of weird and dirty out there, but I don't know if it's running that same way. I don't know if it pays off. And that's my biggest hope, is that one of these guys is going to come forward and say, fuck Tom Kusura. Finally. But that means sudden death too. So, but they're getting pretty old. I've talked to Leo Jadowski a few times and he could be completely bullshitting me, but he doesn't seem to remember so much right now. And I'm pretty sure, I can't imagine Tom Kusurik's walking around, too well, but.
I thanks God that I'm not living on Calumet, because to have Wigert as a sheriff, it's disgusting and it's a shame. How can this guy could be a sheriff?
Because it's all controlled. Like, my big beef is with Mark Ott, the sheriff before him, who was Jerry Pagel's undersheriff, that nobody has ever, people always say, oh, I've seen his name. No, show me. Because Mark Ott's the one who did my brother's investigation in 2004 and 5. So isn't it strange that Mark Wiegert is the face of this entire case and not Mark Ott, who's the undersheriff?
The people that participate on the corruption and on the framings get medals and they rise. It's
John
amazing.
was given an award for
Yeah.
shit the same year that Jay Yurgis, who is the lead investigator in the Ricky case, received an award for the best death investigator. I do want to say one thing, that it's confidential who it happened with, but I know that somebody out here talked to Zellner and signed papers and had a conversation with Larry Ledvina, And Larry Ledvina, who's Major Larry Ledvina, who's retiring right now, told him that he better watch his back around the area. So good riddance, Larry Ledvina, even though I know you're a dirty little bitch and you're probably going out to do dirtier shit. You know, how do you think that feels? But you know what? It's all right, Larry, because we're watching your backs, you know?
Yeah, you remember me the sentence, the famous quote of Peterson talking about the executation, no? Execute. It's amazing.
Because that's the truth in plain sight too. What he was saying was he didn't want anybody to think he was so dumb that he didn't think of that. He's so fucking dumb. You don't think that the biggest joke in their lives isn't that Kenny Peterson said that on Dr. Phil or whatever the fuck it was? I mean, talk about a stain on your career, you big dummy. Because of course they thought of it, but there's some secret in what he said, right? Of course there is, because we all know that too. Because they think they're so smart. See, we could have killed them. We weren't dumb enough to frame them, but they know goddamn well what they did. And you know what? Have you ever worked at a workplace and there's one person that's just a fucking asshole. Let's pretend we work at the foundry with Scott Taddick, right? Okay. And maybe he's your supervisor or your manager, right? You gotta do what he says all day long, right? And he's a dirty fucker, and he'll stab you in the back. Well, guess what? You all want that fucker to go down. You do. You might not say it to his face, but you secretly all can't wait. So let's get it done. Let's get these cops coming forward. Let's get somebody that has some integrity and that, I don't know what the old saying is, something about if the truth gets you killed, it's worth speaking the truth. Let's I mean, what are people doing that they can't let somebody be a hero here? I kept hoping it was going to be Dean Strang. I'm like, come on, dude, give up your career and help us get the truth out. Like, this world is so wackadoodle right now. I just don't understand. And the reason it's wackadoodle is because people can't come forward, can't stop what's going on. So you never know. This one person that got a hold of me, they got a lot of people following them and helping them.
If they were really professionals, they won't have this strange and stupid attitude saying this execution. For example, Scott Tadich with the phone, you ruined my life, This stupidness made us to think how much involved are them all on this case. So,
well, and there could be so many people involved, but the problem is, and they know this, if there's nobody to keep you safe in coming forward, why would you anyway? You know what I mean? Like, well, what's the point? If,
yeah.
I don't know. In that regard, I mean, of course, it's important to come forward because we're going to try to change it, of course, Somehow we need to get it out, and I can help with this in any way possible, that we need to get the locals woken up again. It isn't like when you run in, I mean, Anna might run in, she said she ran into somebody that thought Stephen was guilty, but people talk under their breaths and they know Stephen was set up. I talked to a woman that they were going to try to frame her husband in the Hochstetler thing, I believe. And she said, when she got a hold of me, she said before they ever even found Teresa, everybody knew they were going to frame Stephen in the town. So it's not just, it's interesting, isn't it? They know it. Everybody sees it and knows it. And what I understand from my experience out there is like with Jim Tyrell, he and a lot of people out there, if a cop pulls you over and he doesn't give you a ticket, well, he's a good guy. He's all right. He's a good guy, right? If you get in trouble with the cops, say if Barb, Scott, Bobby, or somebody that they didn't meet, that they didn't really like so much, we think they were fucking dinks because they treat us like shit. So a lot of the mentality out there is as long as they're good to me, then it's okay, right? Then you don't want to be walking around going, well, he's a son of a bitch, because that son of a bitch is going to make himself a son of a bitch on you, right? My most disturbing was a thing that I heard, and I haven't, I may have talked about it somewhere, and it was a man that I met out there about a year ago. And he was real interesting. He didn't want to talk in anywhere very much in public, but we did. And I'm real reluctant too. He's like, well, you want to get in my truck and we'll go here. And I said, no, nothing personal, but no, I'm not getting anyone's truck out here, And I wanted to have the interaction at a public place, and he wanted it to be a public place of his choice that he knew he could talk in, because, he can't just go anywhere. And it was kind of interesting. We got there, and I think we were ordering a beer and, just trying to feel each other out. He was nice. He was nice. I already knew someone else that I had talked to, so I'm meeting him for the first time. And all he did is we went up to the bar, and he looked down, nobody was around, and he goes, Bushman is dirty. Like Bushman. And I just looked at him and I go, well, we all know that. Anyway, this man, he's younger than me. This man told me about a time that he was working as a tow truck operator, and there was something that went on out there. No relation to Avery or anything like that. Just I don't even know what business it was for. And a woman got off the road in the snow. I'm going to make it very vague, so there's no way they can go back to this guy. Anyway, he did his job, got the car out of there, whatever, ran into the woman a couple of weeks later. And she said, why did you call the cops? And he said, because it was dangerous out there. Cars were sliding into us. And she said, he raped me. The cop raped her. And I would say that's probably what, I don't know. I don't have a time frame on that. When he told me, so I would think it was within the last 5, 6, 7 years. I don't know. So, you might not see it. Nope, I don't have any fucking proof of that, but, I'm going to believe the people that are talking under their breath and terrified of what's going to happen from the people out there. And nope, I am not saying it's every cop. I'm not pointing at one specific cop. I'm just saying it's happening. People that have seen this case, people that have been working on this case for far longer than I have, won't even come to this area because they're so freaked out by it, right? The reason, I got friends that own businesses in the area. How do you think it must feel? There's a blood stain on that town. And it isn't because of the good people of the area. It's because of what they did here. And I personally don't believe they want Manitowoc to turn into, it's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful little town, and 2 rivers, and it's a really nice area. And everybody that lives there, simple people, just trying to, they deserve their community back. And I think it's a really, really sacred place too,
It's very sad, but
It is.
the people need to stand up and talk and say what's happening and say what they are watching, because if you see something doing a crime and you fucking shut up, it's like nothing is doing no crime. And
But it's hard too because it's really a small area, and once you're in their sights, I have we heard about Carmen Boutwell, and that she met with DOJ or something and felt really, really threatened. And, I know of a kid that I found out about, this kid in Calumet County that, the minute that he went into Uyghur's Calumet County Jail asked to become an informant. I mean, dude, people just like Anna, that really don't do money fucking drugs. This kid was like, I don't use drugs. And then they still revoked his Huber law because he wouldn't work with them. And I'm sorry, I think that's a lot of how Chuck got cleared and manipulated maybe too, because, well, it could have been cleared because of the pictures, but when you're sitting in their jail and they have access to you and they're telling you, gee, it'd suck if we found something on your property. But that's the second hugest red flag, is that nobody's asking why Chuck didn't find that RAV4 on that property, right? If they're saying it was there 5 days, 6 days now, Chuck didn't see it? Come on. I mean, people just really need to. I mean, we get it. There's so much information, and I'm telling you, even on, we have information that we forgot we even had, right? Because there's
So we have to conclude, Courtney.
cool.
What we can say to finish this video?
I'd like to say thank you for your support, and I know you're here for us. I know it's important to the others, and I really want you to know that we still need a lot of help, because I am kind of freaking out now because there's some stuff, and we are going to need some more help.
You will have my support always.
Thank you.
And you are so brave. It's amazing what you are doing, because I see a lot of YouTubers talking about the Avery case, but no one does nothing but you. You are the only one doing something useful and something seeking the truth. Okay, this community is so divided, as you said before. This full play, Polka Poldi, there are several people stopping the word of the real researchers. So you will have my fully support always, and I hope if someday Kim Ducat watch this video, because Kim uses to watch my videos. Kim, you are amazing. Please, you never change. Be the same, because you are great. I really appreciate all your effort of you both. And Courtney, maybe tomorrow or one day of this week we will make another video.
That sounds good. I get to do one thing. I know you're in a hurry. I can see you're busy. Let me just do this. You told me, do you have any more of those pictures you could put in front of the screen like I did last night? And that's a random thing that I have these printed, but I have this one printed right here, and I just want to put it up because this is what I'm saying is Andy Colburn there.
Wait. I try to put it now.
That chin. If you have one more second, here is the last thing I want to say. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I feel like I've made it pretty clear to other research in this community that we are very fearful. We're not playing any more games. I'm not following anybody that isn't supporting me and others right now. And I am drawing a line in the sand. We're scared for our lives. We're trying to make a difference here. And we're not doing this anymore with anybody in this community. And if you don't support us, sit the fuck down. We've been begging to work with us. And if you don't want to do it, that's great. We're still going to keep going, but I'm not going to worry what foul play wants to spread about me anymore. I'm not going to worry whether Mystic Jinx is going to let me onto the Ricky Hochstetler page. We're not back treading here anymore. If you believe in us, hop on. If you don't, we're not. I don't even ever want to talk about it. They have caused too much, and I don't see that they're going to stop with the game. So, line drawn in the sand. That's that. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Courtney.
I'll talk to you next time.
And the revolution continues. Thank you very much.
All right.